All right, so we are back. And this time we're going to be talking about collabs because there are so many these days. I feel like it's one of the most interesting ways brands are growing by partnering with another brand and creating a unique product. A lot of times it's a limited edition drop. Sometimes they end up keeping it around. But I wanted to just bring this up as an interesting topic and strategy for small brands, large brands, irrelevant brands, even like older brands are doing it. Actually, one that I just saw that I'm kind of interested in myself is Gap and Victoria Beckham. Did you see that?
Kinda. Bro, I browsed it. You
I'm
would
sort of,
think it doesn't work, right? One of them
you
is,
would think, yeah, you would think it wouldn't work, but and then another one is H&M and Stella McCartney because I bought a jacket that she did at the H&M, whatever it was, the capsule collection years ago, and it's a denim jacket. I still love it. And in fact, I wore it to a beauty function a few years ago and somebody stopped me and they're like, I have that exact jacket. Um, but it's pretty timeless. But yeah, but I think in the beauty industry, we're seeing a whole bunch. Okay, so there's a Kendall Jenner's tequila doing a new scent with salt and stone. I think
Mhm.
that's a little odd. I don't really
Yeah,
want to smell like tequila, right?
no, no. I
I
mean,
mean,
yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah,
just find I get the wanting to borrow Kendall Jenner's name, but that's maybe not well, maybe we're wrong. Maybe it'll just sell out. Sometimes the weirdest things do incredibly well.
yeah,
You know,
I agree.
strange flavors, strange whatever. And then we have a Starface Marc Jacobs collab because
Yeah.
Starface is known for the pimple patches. I always wondered what are they going to do next because that's such a it's such a specific, it's like when Biore invented those pore strips
Yeah,
and they couldn't really come up with anything after and the brand kind of just petered out.
yeah,
It's very hard to follow up that kind of innovation. You've got this, and it's not even that, from my perspective, the innovation existed already. All they did was make it into a star so that it's visible. The
yeah.
patch, the idea of putting a pimple patch was already around.
Sure.
Um,
And Marc Jacobs Beauty is trying to come back, you know that.
And they're trying to come
So
back.
they're trying to, I think what they're doing is they're trying to reach out with this collaboration, reach out to a younger audience saying, now we're hip, please get us. So usually the way I'm seeing it, the collabs are happening with a lower tier price range with a higher tier luxury brand, which is very
Yeah,
interesting
yeah.
because that fragmentation tells you that the luxury tier is not reaching to the younger audience who are still getting paid by their parents or they're paying for the expenses. So it's in a way that remember me when you're grown up, come to me kind of thing. So that's the seeding,
Yeah.
I think.
Well, sometimes it's also just two old brands like Estee Lauder and Diane von Furstenberg,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Like they're both sort of old, trying to be relevant. So then they're like, well, let's just be irrelevant together. And then let's just make
That
some
doesn't
stuff.
make
So
any sense. Why would you do that? You know,
I
that's
know it does feel a little bit,
off.
I mean, I think their products were beauty. So they had a fragrance, a blush, and a lip gloss.
Hmm.
Nothing super innovative there. Again, the brands are sort of not very exciting. Um, and then there was the one with Pat McGrath and Supreme. Now that's interesting because Pat McGrath, that brand has been up and down.
Yeah.
Uh,
And Pat
right?
McGrath moved to greener pastures with Louis Vuitton. And then I thought they were closing because it was bankrupt, and a group from Florida bought them. And now they have Pat McGrath. But it makes you question, okay, you are, I don't even care for Supreme, you know? Like what is
Right.
Supreme? You know, like it has these big writings. And for the longest time, I was so ignorant. I thought I was like, are they Louis Vuitton? You know? So,
Right.
because it looks so similar. So Pat McGrath collaborating with Supreme doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, because Pat McGrath is expensive as well compared to the other makeup products there. Supreme is extremely expensive and has a different demographic. And I'm like, what's going on here? It just doesn't make any sense.
But supposedly they did a lipstick that sold out like that. I don't know. So I think I really do think there's an art to these collabs though. Putting the
Yes.
right brands together in the right way where it's like one plus one equals three. And I feel like a lot of the ones that we're seeing, and we talked about a few of them, are not doing that. They're just like, oh, we need a collab because everyone else has one. Okay, who can we collab with?
Yeah.
And it feels like it falls flat, it's not,
Yes. It's
but maybe,
boring. It's not exciting. Like if a skincare brand would collaborate with, I'm just gonna throw it, a Nobel Prize winner, a scientist, the immunologist, and say, okay, we're doing this, bring your science in. That would excite me. And I was like, that would make me happy. Or, for example, a hair care brand matches with a skincare brand. They don't have hair care, they don't have skincare, and say, now you have the complete package. Go to town.
that's a good idea because, I feel like in hair care, the collabs are celebrities. That's it. It's
Yeah.
like celebrities have and we've talked about that before. We did a thing on celebrities. But I actually think to do a true collab, like I would love to have a scalp serum. Well, who's better to do a scalp serum than a skincare brand?
Yeah,
Your scalp
exactly.
is skin, after all. It's
Yeah.
not, so if you think about it, that would make an incredible collab.
Yeah.
Um, that's a good idea. Maybe we got to do that. Uh, you know, a Massimi Avicena scalp serum. I
Yeah,
mean,
we
come
can do
on.
anything. Sky is
But
the limit.
yeah, but I think you're right that I think when the products can lend each other some credibility or expertise or have a reason for being besides just like it's a moment in time. And maybe some of these brands just want to capture some social currency for a blip and they don't care. You know what I mean? It's like,
Oh,
okay, Justin Bieber and Rode did a whole thing at Coachella. They got a lot of press. That was great. But then again, Justin Bieber is intrinsically linked to the brand, so you can't get away from that anyway.
mhm.
But yeah, maybe they are just they're riding the wave of culture and they're not caring so much about long term. But that's dangerous too, because
Yeah,
one of these falls flat and then there's suddenly a loser for however long
exactly.
it takes to dig out.
I mean, so when you look at the really big brands, Chanel, La Mer, Dior, they never collab, which is very interesting. They never do that. They don't, like, even if they bring a celebrity on, let's say Charlize Theron for the perfume, she is the face. It's not a collaboration. Lancome does the same thing. So is that flying like falling flat now? Is that why people are going for
Maybe
the
it's
collab?
not enough just to have a celebrity face. You know what I mean? Like
No
you
one
have to do
believes in
more. You have to have a
celebrities.
product.
Do you believe in celebrities anymore? I don't.
I I really don't. I just don't think people trust that they actually use the products that they're pitching
Mm-hmm.
and that they have anything to do with the products they're pitching. I mean,
Definitely.
some of the hair care products I think are struggling, the celebrity hair care, and I'm not surprised. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm curious to know how Blake Lively's product is doing because I know that in Target it wasn't great. And then that
That's gonna
lawsuit,
fall flat. That's gonna go.
well, she was trying to claim the lawsuit, and the whole Justin, whatever Baldoni thing was
No.
hurting the business, but I think the products just were hurting the business. It's like,
Could
you don't
be.
have, you don't have good products, then, you can't really blame other stuff.
I
Who
think the
knows?
founder talks, like I'm gonna bring this up. How old are you? I'm gonna
Oh
ask this.
God, I'm old. I'm 58.
I'm 55. So anybody who is watching, look at her hair. She
Yeah.
has good hair. That tells you she uses her own products. That tells
A
you this thing works.
little gray right now,
Oh,
but
come
yes.
on. Little Gray, that's being classic. It's good. Like Prada loves, what was it? Devil loves Prada kind of thing. We're going that
Yeah,
route.
yeah.
But that tells you the founder is using the product. Her hair looks good. You don't need another proof. You don't need a celebrity.
And by
Like,
the way, I only use Power Beauty collab products on my face, my skin.
There you
And I
go.
think, I mean, my skin, the last time I went in, my dermatologist, he was like, wow, your skin really is looking good. I'm like, yeah, I'm a little sunburned today because I'm
Sunburn is
outside.
good. But for
But yeah,
example, I'm 55. I don't have wrinkles.
yeah, you don't look 55.
You know,
Absolutely not.
but that's the thing. I use my own products.
Right.
Because it works. I mean, that is the proof everybody should look at. What is the founder using, not the
Yeah.
celebrity? Like there's a new brand that got into one of the stores. I'm not gonna give names, but that group hired a celebrity that I haven't seen her since the 90s, associated with a very famous writer, the lady. And then I was looking at her, it's like, she's not a good, like, how much money did you spend here just to
Yeah.
get your product in front of her? It's not authentic, it's not real, but the people are gonna buy it just because she has her face there, because they want to belong to that feeling. But feeling is expensive. That feeling
Yeah.
is expensive. And then
And
with
if the
collab,
products don't work, then, really, it's like, why are you buying into that? I think people are getting way savvier about that. I don't
I
think
hope
people
so.
are.
Because
Yeah.
all these collabs we talked about, they're selling a feeling. They're selling exclusivity, right? Like Pat
Yeah.
McGath, going for Supreme. If you buy our product, you're one of us. You're exclusive. Nobody can buy this because that lipstick is what, $200? I don't know. You're special now. But you feel that for a second, and then your credit card has a dent, and that lipstick is not different than any of the lipstick you can buy in the market or the mall. That's the
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, I think maybe it's a psychological problem, actually, people looking for these little ways to sort of feel good about themselves. And maybe, but I guess you could argue that's been the test. I mean, over time, that's always been the case, right?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
that's the lipstick effect.
Exactly. Like, you know how
So,
the branding people say, oh, do a subscription, do this, do that. Uh, Beauty, even hair care, it's instant gratification. You read it, you like it. Of course, if you're a functional, have a like science-based functional mind, you look at the ingredients, or you look at the packaging, but it is always instant gratification. You can't do a subscription. It's not us. We don't do
yeah,
it. I don't.
yeah,
With these collabs, that's why probably it's so short-lived, because it's all about instant gratification.
yeah. And then you get it and you're part of the exclusive group that got it. And then it's moved on to the next one.
And who's gonna be the next? Are we gonna do Kardashians with, I don't know, Cartier? You know?
It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Well, so I would say to anyone listening, drop your comments about your favorite collabs or the ones that you want to see. I think that would be really interesting.